Hey everyone, welcome back to Student Stories. I'm Jen, and we're thrilled to have with us today a student artist and musician, Caden Asher. Welcome, Caden.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Please introduce yourself to yourself to our listeners.
I'm Caden Asher. I'm 22 years old. I'm an artist, and I'm also a student here at Johnson County Community College. And I've got one semester left with this awesome college. Been a great experience to learn and meet so many cool people.
Awesome. Thank you for being here with us today. We had a pretty great conversation, actually more than one offline before the show today. And you shared your backstory with us about how you came to study here at JCCC. Can you share that with our listeners and our viewers on YouTube?
Yeah, so I originally graduated high school at Blue Valley, from Blue Valley High. And after that, I went to Emporia State for 2.5 years where I studied business entrepreneurship, a little bit of business admin. And then ultimately, I just decided it wasn't as much for me. That's not what I was calling me. I'd been making music since I was a little kid and singing my whole life. And I thought I actually needed to follow my passion. And what a better place to do it as somewhere affordable and somewhere close to home where I can really refine my skills and become a better artist. After Emporia State, I came to Johnson County Community College, and I've been here for the last 1.5 years.
And your major is?
I'm getting my associates in liberal arts and also an associates of science. But then I'm also getting the recording arts certification.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We're really, really excited to hear some big news that you've got to share with us. Please share with our friends.
I am in the middle of a rebrand right now. You're already getting the second half of that. So it's Caden Asher on all platforms. It's Caden X Asher on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. And you can find me with that handle anywhere. I got a lot of... I'm really happy about this rebrand. Got a lot of good music coming, a lot of new stuff I've been working on really hard. And I'd say the influences are more like dark pop-ish and a little bit of hip-hop influences. But yeah, it's been a really exciting process.
And that's Caden, Caden Asher, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And once again, Caden X Asher on TikTok?
all platforms.
On all platforms. Okay, so that would be TikTok, Instagram.
Everything, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the rebranding. Tell us kind of how you initially packaged yourself, what that looked like, what your new packaging will look like, and why you made that shift.
Yeah, so I guess there's a lot that goes into that question. That's a loaded question. I'd say first you have to ask yourself who is the person you're trying to be? What are you trying to represent? Who are you as a brand? And that can mean a lot of things like your demographic, the people that you're trying to reach, and the music that you're trying to make, who you're trying to speak to. There's just a lot of questions that go into it, and I don't think you can really answer that question all that quickly. I think it's going to take me a while to figure out some of the key elements that are going to go into my brand. Right now I would say some things that I can incorporate in my brand are eye-catching stuff or doing things in a unique way, just doing anything out of the ordinary or using certain colors or using color schemes like black and white to really emphasize the moods and tones you're trying to go for. Man, I can't even go into all of it right now, I don't think.
Right.
And I'm still trying to figure it out all on my own too.
Right. Which that's huge, to do all of that on your own. We were actually talking right before we went to air about the difference between working with a band, which is what I have been doing, and working on your own, producing your own music. That's a lot to juggle while you're also a student.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Caden X Asher on all platforms. If our friends were to go listen to you right now or take a peek at your socials right now, what might they expect to hear?
Right now, you can't really expect a lot. I'm waiting till I think 2026, January, to drop my first debut single.
Okay, wow, exciting.
So I'm giving myself a little bit of extra time so I can get social media stuff ready and to start releasing as soon as the song drops, and a little bit of pre-hype and post-hype. But yeah, it's just my first drop. What I got planned for that, it's called Better on My Own. It's a single. It's got some pop vibes and some spacey kind of feels.
Wow.
I'm excited to share it with the public, and yeah, I don't know. Sorry, repeat the question real quick.
No, just if our listeners were to
Mhm.
go and look at your
Yeah,
socials
so
right now, if they would hear something like old, if you will, that you're rebranding to look a little different now,
yeah, so
or
like right now, honestly, it's gonna be hard to find me online.
okay.
The best places to find me right now would be like live until I release.
That's actually my next question. Perfect. Please keep talking.
Yeah, so I've got a show coming up this Saturday, at the Westport Bowery, at 7. I'll be live at 7. So I'll be doing a couple unreleased songs there and a couple released songs from my old brand that I'm gonna be incorporating into my new brand.
Where in December might our friends see you? Because that would be November 15th, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we will go to air after that.
Okay.
So
I also have another show coming up on December 4th.
December 4th, okay.
I will not be performing, but I'm hosting a underground rap battle.
Fun.
And I've got 16 artists that I found that are all located in Kansas City. They're going to go head to head. It's like an Eminem kind of 8 Mile kind of event.
Oh, wow. Fabulous. And where will that be? Here in the city? In
Yes,
KCMO?
it'll be at Skate Bar from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. December 4th.
All right.
$5 tickets at the door.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Now, is that information on your socials as well? So
yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, again, Caden Asher, friends. So, how were you packaging and distributing music before?
Yeah, so the independent music distributor that I use is called DistroKid. And it's for me, it's been a reliable way for me to release my music over the last 4 years that I've been making music for a pretty good cost and quality too. I get a lot of features that come with it, and get to customize your drops and your releases to get onto like your famous DSPs like Spotify, your distributing services like Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora and all the other ones. And then I'll release to SoundCloud myself, so I'll manage my own SoundCloud and YouTube. But other than that, I'll go through DistroKid and they'll release everything. You even have an option to upload your lyrics with them if you pay like a little extra fee. There's a bunch of little fun features that you can use through their website. But that's who I use to promote my music, or like to get it out there at least. And then the second hand of that would be social media. In this day and age with artists, social media is your biggest friend. You used to need a ton of money to blow up, or you used to need to have connections with a label or be a part of a label. But now, if you're really good at social media, you can make it and you can make it pretty easily.
Yeah,
if you got a good sound.
I watch TikTok all the time, which I know a lot of us do. There are always live karaoke battles or live singing battles, or you versus me, and then you vote, click this emoji to vote for Caden or this one to vote for Jen, and that's really fun. And then there's also a group called, I think they're called Jams in a Van, and they're music interns, and they're specifically asking you to submit your work, and they'll play it on TikTok, and then they'll review it and see if we would like to sign you or not. So that's pretty cool.
I have seen some stuff like that where it's like rating unreleased music, or it's like
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So tell us the name again of the company that you're using to distribute sound.
I've used DistroKid since I started.
DistroKid,
yeah. But there's a bunch of other ones like CD Baby and oh gosh, I don't know. DistroKid's worked for me though.
And is that just
United Masters.
Forgive me, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. United Masters is another one, but I don't know. All of my friends that are independent artists that I've talked to, most of the time use DistroKid. I feel like that's pretty universal right now.
Okay. And so if you were to develop your own music and want to use DistroKid, would you just reach out to them and say, "Hey, I've got this music.
So
I'd like to hire you to help me promote it"?
Yeah, so it's pretty self-explanatory, or once you get on their platform, so you can just go to their website, make an account, and get set up, and then you'll submit your music under whatever name you want. You'll submit like whatever fee they're asking. There's like a couple different like packages like you can buy depending on what level of like artist you want, how much music you're going to be releasing, that kind of stuff. If you're managing artists, whatnot. Yeah, but if you're just managing your own your own self, I think I buy the $40 a year package. And you can upload your music there. They'll verify like your artwork, your song, everything else. They'll even give you an option to master it if you want.
Wow.
And then so they make it really easy for artists to release their music and drop their music and get their music out there.
So then, do you have two copyrights on the music then, the actual words and then the song itself, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I guess that really depends on how the song was made and how many people went into making the song. If you made the song 100% you, then you would own 100% of the rights. So kind of, that would go under like I guess songwriter, in like the metadata of the song,
Mhm.
you know, you could have a producer that might take a 20% split. You might have an
Right.
artist that'll take like another 20% split, an engineer that'll take a 20% split, and a writer that'll take a 20.
I see.
You know, so it just depends on how many people like went in to make the song. But if you're doing it all on your own, then you're gonna take home 100%.
And that's been you, is that right?
For
All
the
on your
most,
own.
for the most part, I work with a lot of producers in the area because you know you can get some cool sounds when you're working with other people. You know,
Mhm.
just not on your own. Especially producers. I'm more of an artist. I like writing and making melodies and singing and rapping. Sometimes playing piano, but for me, that's what I like to do. I like the artistry side of it instead of like the producing and engineer. I'm currently in school for the engineering side of it right now,
Mhm.
and I'm self-taught on the production side of things. But I would say like my biggest focus is definitely artistry.
And on the topic of that artistry, have you always loved music? Did you grow up in a musical home with your family? How did you come to fall in love with music the way that
Yeah,
you
so
have?
I'd say my family is very musical. My mom's or at least artistic, at least. My mom's a designer, and my
Mhm.
dad when he was my age, he was also in a band. He played guitar, um, and I was in choir since 5th grade. So I don't know, music's always just been a big part of my life. Um, and yeah, my parents have uh, pushed me to do the best I can in music my whole life, and it's
Mhm.
been such a blessing.
You spoke a little bit of this earlier, but I want to ask you again more formally. Who would you say your musical influences have been?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I'd say the top influences would be like just the ones that come to mind would be like Mac Miller,
Mhm.
Juice World, even like actually I have a list too.
Oh yeah, actually, we like to ask our guests what's on their Spotify list. Like, if we were to steal your phone, what would it look like?
Okay, let's
So yeah,
see.
this is perfect, actually.
I'll just name some of the ones that you guys would probably know.
Please do.
Corday, Childish Gambino,
Childish
um,
Gambino, Donald Glover.
Jack Harlow, Nate Sibb is a recent influence I'd say has been going into of my recent music. Killer Roy, Little Skies. Um, let's see, Frank Ocean, Charlie X. I really like Charlie XCX
Yeah.
too.
Do you get the opportunity to see live music as a consumer, not so much as a producer or a performer, but as just a fan?
Yeah, sometimes, and that's actually it is nice to go to a show and not have to worry about all the technical things.
Right. Just to
Just
enjoy
to yeah, just to
it.
enjoy the music, you listen to somebody that you like.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was just to elaborate on that question. I was gonna say, yeah, so much of the time when you're listening to music as an artist, you're like analyzing it and not like actually like living in the music.
Right.
So it's nice to take a step back sometimes and actually like just listen to the music instead of just like analyze it.
Right. When was the last concert that you went to? And who was it? And was it here in the city?
Yeah, I mean, I like if you're talking like, are you talking like underground shows or
Any
like?
kind of show where you were just a consumer and a fan?
Yeah, so I guess the last show I went to was AP Fest at Skate Bar.
Okay.
It was just a bunch of underground Kansas City artists. There were some punk artists there from out of town too, I think. It was a cool show. Kansas City's got a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
especially a lot of underground talent if you know where to look.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned being a senior here at JCCC. So
Yeah.
does that mean you're graduating in December or you're going to graduate in May?
Yeah, I'll graduate next semester.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. What's been your favorite class that you've taken here? Or do you have a favorite moment
I'm
or
not
professor?
I'm
or-
not gonna lie. I've really the only classes I've taken here have been a part of the studio recording classes because I got all of my gen eds out of the way at Emporia State.
Right.
So I've really
right.
only came here for the studio recording, and then I just got my transcript from Emporia State to get my credits transferred from here,
Nice.
or from Emporia State to
Right.
Johnson County, so I can graduate with my associates here and get the recording art certification.
Perfect. So in the immediate, when you graduate in May, what do you think that's going to look like for you? What are your next steps after?
Yeah, so
you
there's a lot
graduate?
that I've been thinking about recently, and I think the first thing I'm gonna try and do is look for some sort of studio recording job,
Mhm.
either in live music or in a studio, or you know, I'm gonna look for a recording job of some sort while pursuing my music on the side. I think that's the first step is just to find a stable like music job.
Mhm. So, in addition to all of the academics and all of the recording and all of the rebranding and all of the social media, you also have a job, like a paying job that's also
Yeah.
kind of really cool, actually. Please share that with our listeners.
Well, kind of. I am selling, reselling clothing, and sometimes doing upscale. So I'll like go to the bins or like Goodwill outlets and
Mhm.
find vintage clothing or thrift clothing and just sometimes I'll take it and upscale it so I can like add like patches or like sew new things on it or like whatnot. But sometimes I'll just take the vintage clothes, clean them up, and then repurpose them. So
What got you interested in that, and how long have you been doing that?
I've really only been doing this for like about half a year now.
Okay. Oh, so brand new.
So
to
yeah,
it. Okay.
I'm relatively new. What got me into it is just watching YouTube videos of people that I like, some creators that I like that are doing it right now, and they said it was good. It was a good side hustle, and it's like what I could pay like $50 for a Gucci logo on a white T-shirt, or I could go to a thrift store and get a cool T-shirt from the '90s for $10.
Yeah, and then to think that there's a story behind that shirt. Someone's worn it. You know, what's the history behind
and
that?
I like that it's being repurposed and it's not just going to waste.
Absolutely, not ending up in a landfill. So at Caden Asher online, can folks see what you're repurposing and selling, or is there another way that folks can perhaps purchase?
No, right now I'm just looking for like the only way that I'm selling stuff is like I'm just looking for like outlets that I can like sell my stuff at, like pop-ups is like that's a big one. So like it's like mini like garage sales like all over, but a bunch of vendors like smaller vendors will come to these pop-ups and just sell a bunch of clothes. And I've got like racks that I can bring and like yeah, and then sometimes I'll just like sell to like people that I know. Like I've got a story on my Snapchat that I'll sell to friends, and so it's not like super big right now, but it's just definitely just a small side hustle that I'm doing on the side.
Yeah, something that brings you joy.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
You know,
and I think
a little bit more of today.
I think it's fun too, and you know, I don't have to do it just for the money. It's definitely helped my fashion sense too, and it kind of ties in with the music.
Sure, and you never know how you're going to meet folks. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe somebody that might not know about you as a musician or know your type of music might purchase that from you and be like, hey, wait, this guy's really cool. You know, like you never know where your sources of fans and listeners might be. Here at JCCC, of course, as you know, I'm also a music student here at JCCC. There are so many resources for student musicians. The MIDI lab, studio space. Can you speak to those resources here on campus, or do you maybe not use them and you go someplace else? Or
so I've used I've used a good amount of the JCCC resources. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say for my own projects, but I've used them to complete like almost all of my projects here and for my classes. When it comes to out of school work, I've got a little at home studio, and cool. I've also got some good connections with friends that I can get into some nicer studios with for some good prices. So sometimes I'll record at a studio, sometimes I'll record at my own house. I will say if somebody from the music department's listening, if you could get auto-tune, like if you could get auto-tune on like all of the systems, maybe that would change my mind about recording here. I will say like I don't need auto-tune, but I'm also not seeing country or like folk music, so I think auto-tune is kind of like a stylistic choice that I feel like that's another like hot topic, is that a lot of people think auto-tune, like people need auto-tune when in reality is I can sing perfect. I just think auto-tune adds to my style. Right. But that's one of the main reasons that I don't record here, is just because they don't have all the plugins that I would want to use to record my specific style, and I'm more in that pop-ish, hip-hop-ish kind of scene, and I feel like they're more tailored to like rock or like I don't know, more not as like new music, I guess. Like rap, music, like rap or like there's like a bunch of new genres like hyper pop and
Did you know that the library in Olathe and the library in Lawrence have free studios?
I did not.
Yeah, so all you need is a library card for the Lawrence Library or for the Olathe Library, which also would be Johnson County Library. And you can get the studio twice a month for free.
Do those studios come with like engineers? And
no, you have to do your own engineering, but they do have the computer.
You know what kind of like softwares they use?
What's the one that we used in MIDI music?
Pro Tools.
Yes, it's Pro Tools.
Okay.
It's not Ableton, it's Pro Tools. And then they have instruments as well.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. It's a free resource. The only drawback is you can only do it twice a month, and that's because so many folks want to use it.
Earlier you said, what, or I don't know how to phrase this, but I will say that I was self-taught on Ableton when I first started making music, and then when I finally came to school here is when I finally started learning Pro Tools. And it doesn't matter what you start on. Honestly, like if you want to start making music, you should just start. It doesn't matter what software you have available to. If you have any sort of software or have any access to it, you should go and learn how to use it if that's something that you're wanting to do.
Something that I'm learning as a developing songwriter is that perfection is like really the enemy of good. and people think, I can't write that. I'm going to quit because it's not perfect. Just write the bad song. Write the bad song and keep going, right? That's how
Yeah.
you learn. You're going to learn by writing things that aren't necessarily the greatest, but you're going to get better.
A
Would
lot
you
of
agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the times, instead of going back and fixing a song, I'd say that I'm more willing to move forward and start a new song than trying to fix something in the past.
But
Unless I'm really passionate about that song that I'm writing,
right.
then I don't want to as much go back and fix a song. I want to write something new.
But do you think that the experience of it helps you? Like in my job in human resources, we would say every time you go on an interview, you get better at interviewing, right? So the next time you interview for a job, you're going to interview
definitely.
better. Do you think it's the same with songwriting?
Oh yeah, I feel there's like 3 principles in music, or there's like 3 R's, and it's like repetition.
Repetition.
There's like 3. I'm trying to remember this. There's like
rhythm.
There's like 3 keys to being a good musician, and like I remember one of them is repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Is doing something over and over and over again. You know,
muscle memory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep going.
No, it's okay. So what advice would you have? And you somewhat said that, if you want to write, but what advice would you have for someone that were to say to you, hey, Caden, I want to study recording arts at JCCC, or hey, I want to be an independent musician. How would you advise a friend that would say that to you?
First, I would figure out what you're good at, what you want to do within the music industry. So let's say you want to be a singer, or a rapper, or let's say you want to just play guitar. Find what you're gonna do, your part, your role, and what you're gonna do, and then find your people that you need. So if you're just gonna be an instrumentalist, then you need to find other people to play with. If you're gonna be a solo artist, then I'd say the first things that you're gonna want to do are the first thing is start making music. If you got a song, if you don't have any if you don't have any music to start with, you just gotta start writing. I would say maybe go to YouTube first. YouTube is a great place to start. You can find all sorts of types of different beats there. Find inspiration.
Yeah.
I guess if I were starting, I would say find what inspires me and then try and make something similar to that just to start. You're not, as a new artist, you shouldn't be trying to make some sort of new genre or
right.
Don't get too niche. Try and do something. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do something that you like already. Get inspiration from that, and just keep going from there. You can only get better. You can't really. It's almost impossible to get worse.
Yeah, you could only get better. I love that. So as we're preparing to end our time together today, is there anything that you'd like to share in closing with our friends that are listening and viewing? Any study tips, any fun holiday, any stories from your performances, anything fun that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. If I had some advice for my past self, when I first started making music, I would say something that went over my head, I guess, would be there's 3 main things to making music. The first part is production. The second part is the artistry, and the third part is the engineering. It takes those 3 things to bring a song together.
Okay.
And when I first started making music, I really only focused on the artistry of it. I would just find a beat that I thought was okay, and then I'd start writing music to it, or I'd make a beat and I'd start writing. I don't know. You really need to fine tune each one of those aspects of music to get a good song. So I kind of invested my skill points into artistry, where I should have invested into other things as well, the mix and the master and the beat and the production.
So can you explain a little bit of the difference between engineering and production? Because I would have thought they were one and the same.
They're very similar because you can do both of them in one program.
Okay.
Or you can do all of it in one program, right? But yeah, the production is the beat. It's the core of it. Your drums, your other instruments, your piano, guitar, bass. You got your everything that goes into making the beat. Mine is the vocals. So that's your production. Back in the day, the producer's job was a little bit different. It was kind of just to make sure that the track was sounding good and that the artists the producer's job was just to make the track better. But now a producer is somebody who makes beats, I'd say. The engineer, they take what the producer did and they make it sound better. So when you sing directly into a microphone, it does not sound good.
Right.
There's a lot of things that need to be done. You need to EQ it, add reverb. Sometimes you got to add delay, de-ess it. There's a million different things you could do to a vocal to make it sound better. and same thing with your drums and your guitar. You got to EQ and there's a lot of things that go into the final product that I didn't realize when I first started making music that would have made me a better artist if I knew.
It's not as easy, like you said, as just singing a song or like, grabbing a backing track from YouTube and singing along with it. There's a lot more to it than that. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us, sharing your story with us. Everybody, please keep an eye on Caden Asher. Caden X Asher, CadenXasher. Sorry, Caden.
Thank you.
In the coming weeks and months, and remind our listeners and our viewers again when they can see you in December at the rap battle.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be hosting it December 4th at the skate bar from 7 to 10. But like I said, 16 artists, 3 judges, 1 winner. It's gonna be a crazy night. They're gonna be going head to head. I'm just gonna be the host for the night. And then, yeah, hopefully, if you follow me at Caden X Asher on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, any platform, YouTube, you'll see some of my new stuff coming out pretty soon. Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been a great time.
Absolutely. You heard it here first, friends. All right. We're so thrilled that you were with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. As you know, we drop new content every Wednesday here on The Messenger Mic'd Up. So we can't wait to see you next time. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.